So, today I want to talk about whether the Pussy Hat Goddess is trying to make Uncle Sam her sugar daddy or her bitch. For the longest time, I thought it was her sugar daddy. And for any of you who aren't familiar with the term sugar daddy, it is a man other than a woman's husband who would take care of her in return for her being really nice to him. hmm So, it would be favor for favor, kind of quid pro quo. Um, and that appeared to be kind of where the women's movement was going to me of the, well, you give us what we want and we'll give you what you want, which in the terms of the government was votes. You promise to take care of us and we'll, work hard to get you elected. And I mean, that's fine. That's the democratic process. You're gonna work for the people that are working for you. But it was kind of the whole, I want to be able to control my own destiny, but I want to make sure that you're there to take care of me should something happen. And the problem I had with that is looking at it as a women's issue, because that is really a person issue. We're all trying to take care of ourselves. We're all trying to control our own destinies. And those things that women say that they need in order to be taken care of are also things that men need. You know, we all need that safety net. Sorry, my dogs and their canine toxic masculinity intruding on things. So, I kind of had a problem with it, and the subsidizing of birth control as a major women's issue was always really kind of a big thing for me. Because, okay, if you're going to subsidize women's birth control, shouldn't you also subsidize men's birth control? Just because men don't have to carry the child and give birth to the child doesn't mean that they're not impacted by it. And if the woman decides to keep the child, the man is going to be paying child support for it. And if he can avoid getting a girl pregnant, but he can't afford to purchase what he needs for that, shouldn't we pay for it the same for him the same way we do for women? So isn't it a person issue and not just a women's issue? But, that was okay. It wasn't where I would have really wanted to go. I'm happy controlling my own destiny. But okay, if that's what you wanted, that's what you wanted. But after the election, the Pussy Hat Goddess got a little more aggressive. I mean, she really showed herself for the first time. And I mean, let's face it, I'm naming her after the pink pussy hats that the women in the Women's March wore. And that just struck me as interesting just because it was an organized march so quickly after the election. And it was protesting someone for winning the election. And you protesting him before he'd even done anything. So it was a warning shot across the bow. And it was an aggressive gesture. And it wasn't about, a quid pro quo of you take care of me and I'll take care of you. It was more of a, you do anything I don't like and I'm gonna freaking destroy you. I got a little problem with that. So to come out and protest, okay, before he'd even done anything, okay, at the point where his biggest crime was getting elected. Okay. But the way things have gone from there, it's just gotten kind of ugly. I mean, it's really kind of gotten ugly. We look at, okay, Crazy Maisie from Hawaii, who came out and said that men should just shut up and step up and do the right thing. And a whole bunch of women cheered. The Pussycat Goddess's minions cheered. Yes, you tell him, Maisie. What if a man in Congress had said that women need to just shut up and step up and do the right thing? Would that be okay? I gotta go with no. So if it's not okay for a man to say it to a woman, why would it be okay for a woman to say it to a man? And what is the right thing? So it's obviously not the right thing according to what the man might believe is the right thing. It is the right thing according to what the Pussycat Goddess dictates. So, I mean, I can see it now with, Crazy Maisie. Oh, great Pussycat Goddess. So, yeah, I got a little problem with that. I think we need to show more respect for each other. We're all people. We're all human beings. We all have the same rights. And to pretend that men are not impacted by charges of sexual assault or bisexual assault is just willfully ignorant. Does it assume that there has never been a false claim of sexual assault? Does it ignore the fact that men have gone to prison for years for crimes they didn't commit? That disturbs me. It disturbs me that we are willing to trample all over the rights of men and all over the foundation of our principles of justice, that a woman now, okay, so Alyssa Milano came out and said, so if you don't believe Dr. Ford, that means that you're putting a man's career over the sexual assault of a woman or something along those lines. And on the surface, again, surface level analysis, you can see that kind of makes sense. But that is to take a really narrow view of it, because what would the long-term impacts be if, going along with the woman must be believed, that you have to give just full confidence to the woman's claims? That means that men, your husband, your father, your brother, your cousin, your friend, your nephew, any man that you know and care about could at any time be sent to jail for something he didn't do. Could have his career, his reputation, his good name destroyed over something that he didn't do. That is too important to be treated lightly. Just as it is too important for women to have confidence that they are safe and protected, to completely disregard any claim. I definitely don't want to go back to a time when a woman just wasn't believed and wasn't taken seriously. No, don't want to do that. Any woman who comes forward with claims of sexual assault should absolutely be taken seriously, and the claims should be investigated, but they have to be substantiated with evidence. But okay, we'll get into that another time. But going from Crazy Maisie over to the protesters that came in chanting at Ted Cruz and his wife in the restaurant. Now, this is another issue of domination. This is the pussy hat goddess looking to dominate. Now, the woman that was leading the pitchfork waving mob walked up to Ted Cruz's table and said that she wanted to talk to him about. She wasn't there to talk to him. She was there to intimidate him. She was there to dominate him. She was there to subjugate him. If you are looking to have a conversation, you don't bring a chanting mob with you. And let's talk about the chant. Okay, let's talk about the chant. We believe survivors. We believe survivors. Okay. Pussy hat goddess magic 8-ball. What do we say? Shake, 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 shake. Oh, we believe survivors. That sounds good. Okay. Let's think for a minute. How do you know they're actually a survivor? If you haven't checked, you're not believing survivors, you're believing accusers. Okay. Now, if you want to believe her and you want to give her the benefit of the doubt and you want to throw all in, your prerogative, you go for it. But you can't force everybody else to do the same thing. That is domination. So it's becoming more and more evident that what the pussy hat goddess and her minions are actually looking for is female dominance of the country. Why is that going to be any better than male dominance of the country? Because we've got the pussy hat goddess and her deep vagina wisdom. She doesn't really seem to be able to solve any problems, so we need to work together. We need to respect each other. Men and women, women and women, men and men. We are all human beings. We all contribute to society. We contribute to the country. No matter who we are, no matter in what circumstances we are, we all have something to contribute. And a constant fight for dominance doesn't really help anybody. And I've got this image in my head now of the pussy hat goddess as a dominatrix in a pussy hat. And poor old Uncle Sam is down there at her feet being forced to kiss her boot. No. Uncle Sam kisses no one's goddamn boot. That's the whole point of Uncle Sam. So this is one of those situations where I think the pendulum's just swinging too far. We absolutely don't want to swing the pendulum back to when women just weren't believed and men got away with it. Hell no. But we also don't want to swing the pendulum so far that women have ultimate power to destroy anyone. Because guess what? If I'm a vindictive bitch, and there are people that would tell you that I am, and they're probably right. If I want to take you down, just because you're a woman, doesn't mean I can't claim you sexually harassed me. Just because you're a woman, doesn't mean I can't claim you grabbed my ass, you grabbed my boob, you pushed me against the wall and ground your pelvis against me. And you know what? Doesn't matter how credible it is, I gotta be believed. That's too much power to give anyone. If somebody can be condemned based on nothing more than the testimony of a single individual, we have no justice system. We have no justice. I don't want Uncle Sam to dominate the Pussycat Goddess. I don't want him standing there and her kneeling down kissing his boot any more than I want her standing there with him kissing hers. But moving from a position of oppressed to oppressor, not good. There's too much talk of oppressed and oppressor. There's too much talk of pitting one group of people against another, and women and men are just one example. The women's movement has done a lot of really great things. But I mean, quite honestly, the one person who has done the most, in my humble opinion, for women's liberation and women's rights was Coco Chanel. God bless the woman for getting us out of the corset. It was amazing what women could accomplish when we could freaking breathe. And yet, we still allow fashion to chain us. 4-inch heels, I mean, come on. Is there really a need for 4-inch heels? They're about as restrictive as a corset. Yeah, you can breathe, but you can't run away very fast now, can you? So, looking at the Pussycat Goddess and her minions, I am really hoping that things can turn around. But unless you have an idea of what victory actually looks like when a movement like this is created, it's really easy to go too far. And I don't necessarily know that we had a vision of what victory looked like. And I mean, there's a lot of things out there that are still impacting women and, impacting men too, that we're not talking about because the Pussycat Goddess and her minions are so focused on political things. the Pussycat Goddess does seem to be very, very politically focused, more than socially focused. And I think that's where I'm getting a lot of my feelings of domination, um, of Uncle Sam, that it's, we will control. And that bothers me. It scares me. Ultimately, it does scare me. But there are a lot of things going on that the Pussycat Goddess and her minions aren't really talking about. Um, Human trafficking is huge. And what are we doing about it? I don't know. We want to get rid of ICE, even though they're the ones that break up the sex trafficking rings. Yeah, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah, let's do that. So, I could probably go on talking about this for hours and hours and hours, and I will eventually, just because I'm going to continue to do this. So, again, perfect time for self promotion. So please click the like button if you're enjoying my rant. Let me know what you think, and subscribe if you would like. I would really appreciate it. And I want men and women to be equal. I don't want to be dominated by them, and I don't want them to be dominated by me. Yeah, one or two maybe, but not the whole gender. But one or two maybe. Something to think about.